A 31-year-old Honduran mother of a baby girl born in New Jersey with microcephaly said that she flew to America to seek treatment after doctors in Honduras underestimated her symptoms. Now, the Honduran mother who delivered what is believed to be the first baby born with a Zika-related virus, that condition in the New York tri-state area, she said that the doctors in Honduras downplayed her symptoms, which prompted her concern, ultimately leading her to fly to the U.S. with relatives to deliver. She delivered this baby girl at 35 weeks 2 days ago, and she's just now talking to the media. Joe, this is what she had to say, which was pretty troubling, about how she was treated by her OBGYN in Honduras. She says, "I told my gynecologist that I had an allergic episode. He asked if I had a fever. I said I had a little fever, but it was very brief, only about an hour. He said, don't worry, everything will be fine. I don't think you will be affected." Then I had an ultrasound and everything looked fine. Well, we know that in some cases, ultrasounds don't necessarily pick up that condition. It has to be a very specialized process. She ultimately wasn't receiving the care, and her concern, her fear prompted her to fly to New Jersey with family, where she ultimately delivered this baby.
Like, even Zika virus microcephaly aside, when you look at infant mortality rates, the stats show that it's around 1.8% of live births die in Honduras to 0.6% in America. Obviously better services, obviously better facilities out here. And when you have a mother who believes that her baby will very likely have microcephaly and will be obviously needing care to a high degree, it's not surprising that she made this decision. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of it if this virus continues to grow. A country like Honduras as well, along with many other Latin American countries that are susceptible and are at the root of this Zika virus at the moment, also have very strict abortion laws. Honduras has a complete ban on abortion. We've seen in Brazil recently pregnant mothers who believe that their baby might have microcephaly protesting, asking for abortions, and they are not allowed. And so these women are backed into a corner. They are having to give birth to a baby that is ill, a baby that won't grow up, a baby that won't survive, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more cases like this.
Right, babies born with microcephaly, their health condition is generally very poor. They typically don't survive that process without very specialized care. And in the cases that we've looked at, only a few years of life, and their quality of life is generally very poor. Severe brain damage results from this. It's estimated by the CDC that 600 cases of Zika infection have been reported here in the U.S. They're connected to travel outbreaks, and they're telling women, generally speaking, they don't really know the length of period, but women that are trying to conceive children, if they have contracted this virus, to wait a minimum of 8 weeks. In some cases, I've read 2 years. Yeah. So there's not a lot of conclusion.
The problem is that this is a new virus that they are still learning more and more about. Obviously, Rio this summer is going to be getting a lot of attention for the Olympics, and the fact that I think the stats at the moment show around 26,000 people have already contracted the Zika virus there. And what they are telling people in this case is people should not go if they're pregnant, and should not get pregnant, and should use contraception for at least 8 weeks afterwards. Previously, we were told around 2 years. The fact is they are discovering more and more about this virus as time goes on. It's still a relatively unknown entity.
We know of 10 countries that have reported cases of microcephaly linked to Zika specifically. And going back to that number here in the U.S., the 600 cases of Zika infection, the CDC, although they haven't released the conditions of these women, we know that 168 of them were in fact pregnant women. And no details about those pregnancies or the outcomes, but we do know that this 31-year-old Honduran lady, she successfully delivered a baby with microcephaly in New Jersey 2 days ago.